Hello and welcome to Workplace Math 10, the hybrid option. I teach the online and the hybrid option, so this is the hybrid option. And the reason why it's called hybrid is because you're going to be using a workbook, which I'll just quickly show here. And you'll still be using a Moodle a little bit because you'll be submitting your work there, but it's not the Study Forge version of the course. So it's a little bit different. Anyway, you've made it here. That's great. I'm going to be sharing my screen so that I can show you here the course page and how that works. And I hope to be able to guide you through and get you ready in order to take this course successfully. At the very top is my course information. So you can get a hold of me at anthony.kuchma@onlineschool.ca. And I really do strive to get you an email back within a business day. So if you need help, I want to be able to provide quick feedback so that you're not stuck. My Skype ID is here as well. Add me as a contact. There is one mandatory Skype meeting. I'm just going to scroll down right there. There is one mandatory Skype meeting that you do have to do to get started in the course. And I want to be able to meet you and get to know you a little bit, find out your likes and dislikes, find a little bit about your math history and your goals for math moving forward. My Skype hours are also posted here. As of right now, this is how they're going to stay. I'm going to have Mondays and Tuesday mornings, 9 to 11 a.m., and Thursday and Friday afternoon, 3 to 5. There's no need to make an appointment with me for Skype. Simply add me as a contact and then message me during my hours, and then I'll get to you as soon as I possibly can. Don't call me through Skype if possible, just because I may already be in a call with someone else. So if you can just message me, I'll add you to the queue, and I just call the next person who's on my list. There's some introduction and information here. There's some policies and procedures. There are 2 formula sheets, and I'm going to explain this, I guess, right now really quickly. BC just released new curriculum last year. I'm going to go to my tab for workplace math. If you go to their website, in curriculum, there's Mathematics 10 and Mathematics 11. So this course used to be called Apprenticeship in Workplace Math in 11, and now they've kind of decided to just call it Workplace Math 10. And the curriculum has changed a tiny bit. So now what they've done is they've brought some of the old content from Apprenticeship Workplace Math 11 and they've brought it into this course. So unfortunately, there's no resource available right now that covers all of Workplace Math 10 with one resource. So what I've had to do is I've had to get students to order actually 2 workbooks. So in this course, you're going to order 2 books that cover the content for Workplace Math 10. So I'm going to scroll down just to explain that a little bit. These are the report card dates. But ordering the workbook, there are 2 of them. So there's actually some instructions that will get emailed to me. I'll probably put them on the course page here as well, just to help you out. But this is the number 1. You have to get MathWorks 10, and I've also opened up here MathWorks 11. The reason why it's confusing and the reason why I don't like it is because you have to do overlap chapters. So if you scroll down to MathWorks 10, the 3 chapters that you have to complete are chapters 2, Earning and Income, chapters 3, Length, Area, and Volume, and chapter 7 on the trigonometry of right triangles. Now, notice chapters 2 and 3 have to be completed. You also have to complete chapters 2 and 3 in MathWorks 11, which deal with graphical representation in addition to surface area, volume, and capacity. So if you decide to take the hybrid Workplace Math 11 course, you're in luck because you get to take this book with you, and then you'll complete additional chapters in this book. Unfortunately for Workplace Math 10, It's just a little bit tricky here, and I had to create 2 different resources, and those are the chapters that you have to complete. So if I go back to the course page, I try to be very specific, and it says MathWorks 10, Chapter 2, Earning and Income, and then MathWorks 11, Chapter 2, Graphical Representation, noting the MathWorks 11 there, and then MathWorks 10, length, area, and volume, and then MathWorks 11, surface area, volume, and capacity. What's actually interesting is there's lots of overlap between the length, area, and volume chapter here and the surface area, volume, and capacity one here. So lots of the same stuff is covered, and so it actually makes it pretty good. I would just say that the MathWorks 11 version gets a little bit more ramped up. So there's a few more tough things. And then it ends with the trigonometry chapter from MathWorks 10. Now there's also a probability project, and there's also a central tendency project. So there's 2 projects in addition to the 5 chapters you have to complete from the books. The projects are designed that you just print it out and you complete it at home. Everything's supposed to be able to be completed at home, or if you're in a classroom. I'm not sure where to be completing this course, but it's definitely made to be at home, and it covers lots of the different curricular competencies in this document, the new curriculum document. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to learn about, median, and I try to get things to be very interaction. Like, I hope that you have to do some interacting. So, like, the first thing you have to do in the project is you have to go find 10 of your favorite books, or just 10 books like in your house or somewhere nearby. You write down the names, you write down the pages, and then you're going to use that data to do your averaging or your central tendency. So I try to make it fun and interactive, and I hope you do enjoy that. Now that I've kind of talked about what you'll be completing, I need to show you how. So ordering the workbook, there's going to be a document here, but you do need to, you will need to be printing things off, and you will need to be submitting things back onto the course page. So to do that, I really do suggest looking over the 2 help videos that I've created. One is how to use Cam Scanner. It lets you use your smartphone to take pictures of a document and then scan it in as a PDF. It's awesome. It's a couple minutes, watch it. But sometimes when you do that and then you go and submit it onto the course, your phone takes really high resolution photos. So then what ends up happening is you have to compress your PDF down in size because your photos were such high resolution. So I think it's still worth it if you download Cam Scanner and you have to compress your PDFs after. I find it easier than having a scanner at home. Anyway, that's that. Watch those 2 videos. I want to quickly talk about how the actual workbook is used. So I'm going to go to the MathWorks 10 workbook. And if you scroll past the table of contents, there's a little how to use this book. And this is really important because the way that I've decided for students to use it should be really great once you've figured it out. And what happens is you start in a unit. So for chapter 2, each unit is divided into subunits. So it's like 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4. And in each unit, it'll bring out a concept of math that it wants you to learn, to try, to get some, practice with. And I really like that formula. And I've found that lots of students do too. So there'll be some review, there'll be some examples, they'll show you the new skill. But then there's 2 things. There's build your skill questions, and there's practice your new skill questions. So both of these are important to note. In the build your skill questions, this is where you are learning the material. So there's lots of build your skill questions. They are not for marks whatsoever. Okay, I just want to make sure that that's set clear now. So when you're completing them, please feel free to use the internet. You can YouTube things if you need, or Google, or anywhere you choose to find information. You can look at the workbook, like you can go back a few pages, see if that helps. You can also, ask a friend, ask a parent, ask a tutor, ask anyone that you need to in order to help you figure out those questions. One thing to note as well is that the answer key is in the back of the MathWorks 10 book, but it's not in the back of the MathWorks 11 book. So the answer key is a separate document, and I've actually put it onto the course page for you so you can access it there. Anyway, the Build Your Skills are there for you to learn. So what happens after the Build Your Skills is that at the end of the section, so let's say the end of 2.1, you get to the Practice Your New Skill questions. And once you are there, I want you to think of this as the assignment. And I want to gauge how you're doing in the course. So I want to see how you're doing on the Practice Your New Skill questions. So this is where I don't want you using the internet to YouTube and Google. I don't want you asking a friend or a family member or a tutor. I want to see how well you know this stuff on your own. Can you figure it out? And if you have an IEP, things change a little bit, and we can talk about that in our Skype meeting. But I actually want to show you what this looks like in a chapter. So I'm just going to scroll down past chapter 1 into chapter 2. As you can see, we're just passing 1.4, and then 1.5, and then there will be chapter 2. So it starts off here with some review and goes on to some Build Your Skill questions. So these are the ones, like I said, you can do however you'd like. And there's some examples beforehand to show you how to get to the right answer. And then there's some more Build Your Skill questions, a new skill that it teaches you, some more Build Your questions again. And as you continue working through this, you learn new skills. And then at the very end, right here on page 85, is the first batch of Practice Your New Skill questions. So they are, I'll show you this to you in a second, but you do these yourself and you can mark them. I suggest having your parent or your TA or your tutor, whoever is kind of overseeing you, mark this, and they're going to go through, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. So you find out how you do out of 6. Now, this is important because this is actually one thing that I'm going to be collecting. This is for marks. So if I go back to the course page and I go to chapter 2, Earning and Income, the one that we're just looking at, there is a Practice Your Skills form. So if I click on that, this is what I want you to be filling out, and you're going to fill out your scores and then submit it to me once you're done into this hand-in box. So I'm going to enable editing. You can print this off if you want, or you can just save it on your desktop and use it online. So number 2.1 is out of 6 because there are 6 questions. If the question has like A, B, and C, then it would be worth 3 marks because there's 3 parts to it. Anyway, if I go back, I pop over to my workbook. Oops, this workbook. So there are 6 questions. I want to know what you got out of 6. And then you're going to, let's say you get 5, way to go. And then you're going to mark what you got out of, let's say the next one's out of 6 as well. This one's out of 10. And this is out of 10 as well. Then you're going to have a total out of 32. You add all those up. And then I want to know what you got. So maybe, you get really high marks. You get like 30 out of 32. Awesome. But if you don't, that's okay. If you get 10 out of 32, it's good for me to know that you're struggling with this chapter. And I can try to help out with that. So if I go back, I'm not going to save that. But once you have completed all of chapter 2, then you do submit your Practice Your Skill form in here. You just hit add submission, and you can either drag and drop your file in here, or you can select your file by clicking on that button. And then I get a notification that tells me that you've completed chapter 2. What's going to happen is now that you've completed chapter 2 and you've done the practice, your new skill questions, then the challenge is going to go up, or is going to open up, and you're going to be able to access the challenge. So I know this has been a long video, but this is basically the flow of the course, where you're going to start with the book. You're going to do the skills. You're going to do the build your skill questions, and then you're going to end with the practice your new skill questions. Now, in the workbook, there are chapter tests. When you get to the end of chapter 2, there's this chapter test, and you might think, oh, I've got to do this for Mr. Kuchma. No, you do not have to do the chapter test in the workbook. If you want to, it's great. It's great review, but it's not required. I have my own chapter challenges that I call them that you'll be completing. So I require you to do those, and I do not require you to do the tests. Hopefully this has been an informative video. I know that I've taken a long time, but now that I've finished, I hope that if you have any questions, you can bring those to the Skype meeting. I do want to have a Skype meeting with you fairly soon, now that you're in the course. If you have, if you at any point get stuck in the course, I really want to just let you know to communicate. Let me know that you're stuck. Don't spend 3 hours on the same question. I want to be there to help you, and I'm not going to know if you need help unless you tell me. And I try to make myself available a lot throughout the week, 4 days. So please come and see me if you need help. Best of luck as you get started, and I really hope that you have a great time in the course. Take care, everybody.